Eli Lilly reporting second quarter results just a few minutes ago. The stock under pressure after trial results from its oral weight loss drug disappointed investors. Joining us now, David Ricks, Chairman and CEO of Eli Lilly. Also on set is our own Angelica Peebles. And thank you for coming on this morning, by the way, David. And I'd like to hear your analysis of what's happening, because I don't know, 12%, if you're not over 300 pounds, that's about what I'd want to probably lose. So why the disappointment, do you think, on the results, in your view?
Well, we're not disappointed with these results. It's right on thesis for us. Remember, at the beginning here, when we started working on this project and when we talked about it, the goal was to create an oral pill that was convenient and could be made at huge scale,
right.
Really for the mass market, and had weight loss that was competitive with other single-acting GLP-1s. And that's what we've achieved. Remember, the first study in diabetes, probably the weight loss is a little higher than people expected. Here, maybe it's 1 or 2 points below what Street had, but it's right in thesis for us. And as you point out, people lost 27 pounds. And for most people who are overweight and want to improve their cardiometabolic health, that's in range of what they want to achieve. So we're excited by these results. And as we say in the press release, we're going to go ahead and submit this to regulators toward the end of this year, and hopefully this time next year begin to get approvals around the world.
We talked about, and I have, done a Pfizer versus Lilly 2-year chart. I've done it all, and you almost got the market cap up to $1 trillion, and that, as it would have been obviously the most valuable pharmaceutical company in the world. But we were talking earlier about it.
Joe, still is.
Go ahead, David.
No, it still is.
Still is.
So, yeah.
But big pullbacks. If nothing has really changed about this, with the weight loss market that you're in. Novo Nordisk was 140. It's at 45. Is that the way the stock market works? Did things get too frothy in your view? How do you explain just the haircut that all the manufacturers have gotten in their stock pricing?
Well, the whole sector is down. The PE multiples for the whole sector have compressed in the last year. So there's some macro we can talk about if you want, affecting healthcare and drug stocks. But, for Lilly, I focus on how do we make the company more valuable to patients, more valuable to investors. And if I just go year over year, the company's undoubtedly more valuable today than last year. Why do I say that? Last year we were asking questions about what's the ultimate market potential for these drugs. And we can talk about earnings in a minute maybe, but you look at the print we just put out, and sales are up 38% year over year in the quarter. Tirzepatide, which is Mounjaro and Zepbound, will likely become the best-selling drug in the entire industry, and it's really its 3rd year in the market. And we've got a lot more coming in the pipeline. And drugs like orforglipron, where we have data today, last year it was a question, was it going to be safe enough? Could we discharge safety so that we could have a medicine for the masses in obesity? Remembering that today we're probably treating 2 or 3% of the world's population with this condition. There's 1 billion people on the planet who are overweight or obese. And the tool to do that is an oral solid drug like orforglipron. And we've just charged a lot of the safety risk, and we're saying today we're going to submit to regulators. And the rest of the pipeline's developed nicely as well in that time. So I feel good about the value of the company. Investors have to decide for themselves what they think. But, Lilly's rolling. And you look at the beat and raise today, strong growth on the back half. We're excited about the future for our company and for patients who need our products.
Hey, Dave, it's nice to see you again. Thanks for joining us. You talked about safety.
Morning.
And I have to ask about the discontinuations, because that's been a big focus. Only about 10% of people discontinuing because of the side effects, but then almost 25% of people discontinuing for any reason at that highest dose. Are you concerned that, you might be able to sell the drug initially, people will start it, but they won't be able to stay on it?
I'm not. I think so every study is a little bit different, but I just point out when we make these comparisons, Angelica, as you know, you cover our industry, that the placebo rate is what we have to compare to the dropout rate of the drug. And here, like we've seen in many, many other GLP-1 studies, the placebo dropout rate is quite a bit higher than drug. I think 6 or 7 points higher in this study. That's what we grow to expect. The population we studied is more global. There's lighter weight people to begin with in this study. But the dropout rate to us due to SAE, the serious adverse events, is this thing we focus on. And here again, we wanted to be less than 12%. I think that's kind of 8 to 12 is what we've seen with these drugs, and we're right in the middle, as you just pointed out. So continuation rates in this category, in all chronic drug categories, are not perfect, but the dropout from the drug is what we pay attention to. And here again, right on thesis with the profile. And there'll be more studies with lower dropout rates and some with higher dropout rates for our medicine. We have 7 phase 3 studies.
And I know we'll get the full results in a month, but I think people are asking the question this morning about, are people just dropping out because they're not losing that much weight? Sure, they can tolerate it, and yes, it's still a little bit lower than placebo, but even that placebo is high. So is there anything more you can provide us at this point about what exactly you're seeing?
Well, again, back to the placebo compare, that's really all we can say today. And here you had almost 30% of the people on placebo dropping out. That's probably more a function of the study design, and people, after a year and a half don't want to continue in a study. Again, it was a global study, and so there are cultural things, et cetera. What we really want to see is that the medicine dropout rate is lower than placebo, and that's what we saw here. And we also see, when we look at landmark analysis, a high proportion of people achieving more than 10% weight loss, which, as Joe was saying at the top of the hour, is more than 20 pounds for most of these people, and that's what people want to. That's why they get the drug to begin with, and those were persisting in the study. So we're not concerned about the dropout rate.